How's it going, guys? Coach Logan here, Coach Kyle. We're gonna be going over back squats, progressions, and optimal positions that you can put yourself in to improve your squat.
All right, guys, so we all know how to squat or what a squat is. We're gonna go over that basic movement first, right, before we get into a loaded position, okay? So generally, you wanna have your feet in your shoulder width stance, heels underneath those shoulders, okay? Anywhere around that range is up to you depending on your mobility, okay? From there, what you're gonna do, you're gonna step underneath that bar. Your grip will be just slightly outside shoulder width. You want those elbows slightly down and behind. Active upper body, scaps, traps, lats are engaged when you have a fuller grip on that barbell instead of a looser grip, okay? From there, you're gonna stand up, using your legs, take a couple steps back, get in your squat stance, which is your feet or your heels underneath those shoulder position, okay? From there, you're gonna initiate the back squat or any squats by shifting the hips back, unlocking the hips, keeping that chest nice and tall, descending, driving those knees out, or knees are okay, tracking with the toes and over the toes. Get in this bottom position, which is hip crease, slightly underneath the top of the knee, keeping that chest nice and tall, eyes at the horizon. From there, you're gonna stand up, drive your feet into the ground, locking out the hips, knees. Talking about variations of where you wanna place that bar on your shoulders. Okay, so Logan is gonna demonstrate first a high bar back squat. Okay, this is gonna be on top of those traps. Okay, so engaging your traps, which is doing a slight shrug, engaging all the muscles in the upper body. Okay, he's gonna have a more upright torso, which is gonna be more quad dominant. When he squats, his torso and chest are gonna be nice and tall. Okay, again, maintaining a more upright position on the torso is gonna be more quad dominant. All right, the next variation, again, depending on your sport, will be the low bar back squat. Okay, from here, same setup, grip just outside that shoulder width. You're gonna create that shelf on the top of your scapular spine, all right? So it's gonna be just below that trap. Okay, from there, you're gonna pick it up with your legs, stepping away, getting a good clearance. Okay, from here, it's gonna be more lower back dominant, lower back dominant, glute and hamstring position. So from here, you're gonna be more of a bent over position, okay? Unhinging from the hips, just like any of all our squats. Again, so that chest is gonna fall a little bit more, and that's okay. From there, you're gonna drive up, hips and chest rise at the same time as much as you could, and then finishing with that slight stand up, okay? The heavier it is, you're gonna be more of a bent over position to balance that barbell so as to not slip off your back.
All right, guys, now we are going to be talking about feet position. So Kyle's going to take that barbell, he's gonna bring it onto the back position, and Kyle is going to start with a closed stance. So finding the most optimal position for your squat is really gonna depend on you, your mobility, and most importantly, you need to make sure that you feel good in that position. If you feel like your hips are tight or something like that, then start experimenting with different positions. So we're gonna move back on over to Kyle. Kyle's gonna go with a super close squat stance. So Kyle's gonna lower himself down into the bottom position of his squat. So utilizing this close squat stance, Kyle's gonna be a lot more quad dominant. He's gonna stand back up, and you guys are gonna realize that nothing is gonna change with the mechanics of each squat that he performs. So now Kyle's gonna go now into shoulder width apart. So he was more close towards underneath of his hips. Now we're going a little bit wider, and now Kyle's gonna squat in that position. You guys are gonna realize nothing is gonna change in the mechanics. Okay, we're still now quad dominant, but a little bit more hamstrings, and Kyle's gonna stand back up. Each squat that he performs, we're squatting the hip crease below the top of the knee. Now we can start moving on over and experimenting with a wider stance, would be our sumo squats. So Kyle's gonna come on out, toes are gonna start shifting outwards, And now while Kyle lowers himself down, now we're gonna have a lot more engagement of that posterior chain and hamstrings, our glutes. Main focus is still always driving those knees out, and then he's gonna stand up and lock out. Kyle, you can rack the bar. So when it comes down to squats, it's something that you want to make sure that you experiment with. Don't just stay with one squat, also have variance within the positions, as it also helps you build strength.
Adding to what Coach Logan said, your sumo squats are gonna require more adduction, which is that muscle on the inside of your leg that binds to your joint, your groin, I'm sorry. From there, because we're going so wide, right, on more than our usual squat stance and getting our knees out because our toes are turned out, we're gonna require more strength and stability from this position and standing back up.
So now we're gonna talk about toes pointed straight forward and toes slightly pointed out. So Kyle, take off your shoes. Let's forget about the barbell right now. So Kyle's gonna take off his shoes and we're gonna talk about creating tension and creating torque. So we're gonna drop the camera all the way down to his feet. So we need to understand that, I want you guys to imagine that Kyle is in sand. And so he's gonna be clawing his feet into the ground, creating as much tension. So the load between the ball of his foot and the heel are 50-50. When Kyle works on creating torque and creating tension, he needs to connect with that floor. And that doesn't start when he goes down, that starts from that top position. So we're gonna look now into his knees. And so we're gonna have Kyle at a relaxed state. And now Kyle, I want you to create some external rotation for me. And this would be him screwing his feet into the ground. That's creating a foundation. So this is what we look for, regardless in a closed stance or wide stance for your squat. This is gonna allow us to engage more muscle regroupment patterns as he works his way down into the squat. So now Kyle has a full foundation with the floor, and now he's gonna work down into the bottom position. Squatting all the way hip crease below the knee, never allowing those feet to move, and then standing all the way back up. Now, let's say Kyle doesn't like this position. Maybe his hips, his knees, doesn't feel comfortable. Then we would have Kyle maybe go out a little bit wider with his feet, maybe turn his toes out. But this is an important piece. The more that Kyle turns his toes out, he might be losing the connection with that floor. So a possibility that Kyle can start working on is bringing his feet back in to center, creating a little bit more tension and torque with that squat, and try to develop that foundation.
So talking about modifications now, okay? So let's say Logan has a very hard time getting to the standard, which is hip crease below the knee, okay? So from here, we're gonna go to deloaded, which is a lighter weight, or unloaded, which is just maintaining body weight movement standards at hip crease below the knee, which is our standard, standing all the way up. All right, so we can do that by giving him a target box or a target to sit on or tap and go. Okay, so we're gonna work on tap and go. This is showing me that they're staying under tension, under engagement, lightly tapping, and standing up. So Logan is gonna set up in a high bar back squat, standing up. From this position, he's gonna line up his feet, the corner of the boxes. He's gonna unhinge from the hips. He's gonna lightly tap and show control, getting to that hip crease below the knee position and standing up. All right, so that is one modification. If we wanna build strength in that bottom position, you have an athlete that lacks that explosion and that control from that bottom position, I'm gonna have Logan deload and sit down for a slight second, but still in that engaged position. He's gonna show that right now. He's gonna sit down, under control, rock back up, staying with the heels flat on the ground and explode back up. So looking at what we just did with the barbell, your athlete cannot do loaded equipment. From here, we could do the same thing. Logan is going to tap and go, maintaining a chest nice and tall. Hip crease below the knee, lightly tap, and standing up. Okay, so if the athlete falls or fails, you wanna ensure them that their safety is here. So if they lose their footing, they just lose it, tell them to not give up in this position. regain good mechanics, every rep is a chance to get better, okay? So again, this time he's going to deload. It's not disengage, deload from that time under tension, and then spring back up if they're having trouble at that troublesome bottom position. I hope you guys had a good time and learning a lot from our back squat tips and tricks video. Like and subscribe and watch out for more videos.
What's going on, guys? So this is the outro. We are out of here. So I just want you to. Why are you?
They say, hey, these guys suck at doing outro, so I'll do it for them.
Wait, they're making me laugh. I was gonna make a joke. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. These are some good tips and tricks on how to do a back squat and get better at them. So please review it, keep watching it, and if you have any questions, reach out to us on our Instagram, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you guys know every day that when we post something, you will get it right on your phone. All right? You're always on your phone anyway, so you might as well do it anyways.